Hello friends! Welcome to Storytime with the Met. My name is Hannah and I am so excited to see you here today. You can join us for Storytime every Thursday at noon, where we'll read a new book and do an activity. Before we get started, let's start with our welcome song, just like we do at the museum. It goes to the tune of This Old Man. Okay, ready? Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Welcome friends, get ready, get set for story time at the Met, where we love to read and sing and look at works of art and picture books. We'll use our eyes to look and see. We'll use our ears to hear stories. Now we'll take a seat and give a shh. Let's begin with our first book. Good job! I hope you joined me in singing along. Now, today's book is a bit of a fan favorite. Today we're gonna read Chicka Chicka Boom Boom by Bill Martin Jr. and John Archambault, illustrated by Lois Ehlert. Now, can you raise your hands if you've read this book before? Okay. Can you raise your hand if you own a copy of this book? Okay. Can you raise your hand if you've never read this book before and are so excited to read it with me today? Okay, all excellent answers. Let's get started with Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Now this book has a bit of a rhythm to it, so if you want, you can tap along on your legs just like we did during the welcome song. I also like to have my friends that visit me at Storytime at the museum answer my chicka chickas with a big boom boom. Okay, so let's do one practice round. When I say chicka chicka, you say boom boom. Okay, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Chicka chicka boom boom. Good job. I hope you gave a big loud boom boom. Now let's get started. I always love this page because it tells us what this book is about. And if you recognize what we're looking at, it's actually the alphabet with uppercase letters followed by lowercase. Now let's get started. A told B and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree. We said D to E, F, G, I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree. Chicka chicka boom boom, will there be enough room? Here comes H up the coconut tree, and I and J and tag along K, all on their way up the coconut tree. Chicka chicka boom boom, will there be enough room? Look who's coming, it's L-M-N-O-P. And Q-R-S and T-U-V. And still more W and X-Y-Z. And the whole alphabet up the, oh no, chicka chicka boom boom, oh no. Skit scat scoodle doot flip flop flee, everybody running to the coconut tree. Mamas and papas and uncles and aunts hug their little dears and dust their pants. Can I see you dust your pants? Good job. Help us up, cried A, B, C. Next from the pile up, skinned knee D, and stub toe E, and patched up F. Then comes G, all out of breath. H is tangled up with I. J and K are about to cry. L is knotted like a tie. M is looped. N is stooped. O is twisted, alley-ooped. Skit, scat, scoodle, doot, flip, flop, flee. Look who's coming. It's Black Eyed Pea and QRS and Loose Tooth T. Can I see some big shiny teeth? Any loose tooth T's out there? Any missing tooth T's? Then UVW, wiggle jiggle free. And last to come, anyone remember who's last? XYZ. And the sun goes down on the coconut tree. But chicka chicka, boom boom. Look, there's a full moon. A is out of bed, and this is what he said. Dare, double dare, you can't catch me. I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree. Chicka chicka, boom boom. The end. And we end with our whole alphabet all together again. The end. Can you give yourself a round of applause? Good job. Thank you so much for reading and singing along with me and answering my calls and responses. What I like most about that book is how the letters act like people. And I also love how it rhymes. Now, let's take a look at a piece from the Met's collection that includes the alphabet, trees, and a poem. How about that? So this is an embroidered sampler by Sally Cornelius, made in 1806. It's from the Met's American Wing collection. Now, let's take a close look and explore what we see. There's a lot going on, so let's start at the very top and work our way down to the bottom, noticing what shapes or colors we see, maybe any textures. So why don't you take a minute and look from the top to the bottom. Okay, now let's look together. Now starting at the very top, what do you notice? I see two horizontal lines, and in them there's some squiggles, there's some swirly shapes, and if you look even closer, you may notice that it is nothing but the alphabet again, lining the top of our sampler. How about that? So let's move down to the central square. It's outlined by a black square, and how about you call out some things you see inside this square, okay? I'll do the same thing. I see two trees, I see some animals, I see the sun and the moon. Anything else? Good job. We could keep going. There's a lot in there, huh? But if you notice at the very bottom of the square, there's a line or a row of grass. Let's look right underneath that grass. Do you notice anything there? I notice in a dark thread, we have some more words. And that is actually a poem that the artist put in there. Now, since it's a little hard to read, I'm going to read you what it says. It says, "This I have done to let you see What My Parents Did for Me. And it is signed Sally Cornelius, age 14, 1806. So, Sally's poem rhymes too, just like our book, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Now, let's think about that poem for a second. She's thanking her parents, which is very nice, and we should always be thankful to our grown-ups. Now, just by looking at this, you may think it's a piece of paper, but our sampler is actually a piece of fabric with different color threads going up and down, embroidering into the fabric to make all these different shapes. So the lines that you see are actually made of different color threads, which is very cool. So if we think about it, we know that Sally knows how to sew, right? She created this sampler. She knows her alphabet, just like all of us, or maybe some of us are learning, which is also okay. She knows how to read, and she knows how to write, which are all really great things. Not to mention, she knows how to thank her grown-ups. Now, let's do our own activity inspired by Sally Cornelius's sampler. We're going to write our own poems, specifically acrostic poems, which means they're based off one word that goes down, and each line of the poem goes horizontally across. I'll show you an example. You're going to need a piece of paper. Mine is colorful, based off the green leaves of the coconut trees, but you can use any type of paper. You'll also need, or it will be helpful to have a ruler, a pencil, as well as markers or crayons or any sort of colorful material you like to color with. Now, here's how I got started with my acrostic poem. I wrote my name across the top, and I counted out the number of letters in my name going down. So can you count with me? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, if you do this with your name, you can then write it down this way and draw out lines. All right, from there, you're going to use your creativity and fill in the lines with a poem. From there, you can use all your markers or crayons to color in and decorate it however you like. Now, I'm going to read my acrostic poem to you. It is called Hannah. H has lots of books. A, always smiling. N, never bored. N, nap time queen. A dependable friend. And H, happy at the beach. Now, as you can see, I was inspired by the things I like to do in my acrostic poem. So you can make yours about you just like I did. Feel free to also venture off and make it about anything you like. It can be silly or serious, and you can decorate it however you like, which if you notice, I use the shapes and flowers just like Sally Cornelius did in her sampler. If you want more inspiration, you can check out all the objects online on the Met's collection. There's lots of shapes and colors for you to use to decorate your poem. I hope you enjoyed today's story time, and I hope you make your own beautiful poem just like I did. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.